Well, the Assistant Secretary of the EIS, David Belsey, joins us now, and we also have Louise Lindsay, a first-year student. Hello, thank you both for coming and being with us today. Louise, let me come to you first. How have these strikes affected you? What have you been missing?
So they've had a significant disruptive effect on our education. I just want to say that I stand in solidarity with the striking staff. I understand that they have no other option at the moment because of the chronic underfunding in colleges and the continuous cuts. And most other students that I've spoken to have said the same thing. But the most disruptive thing that's happening at the moment is the underfunding and the cuts.
So what impact has it had? Just tell us, as a student, how has this affected your education?
So we get reduced classroom time at the moment. So we're not getting access to the lecturing staff one-on-one as much as we should be. As a disabled student, that affects me uniquely because I have additional support needs, and there's certain things that I can only really get access to in that classroom.
And am I right in saying you had to pull out of a course last year because of industrial action?
There was a combination of factors, but that was one of them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's the real-life impact. David Belsey from the EIS, what do you say to Louise first?
Well, it's very sad what's happened to Louise and pulling out of the courses and the impact of industrial action has had. But unfortunately, as Louise has said, students around Scotland are supporting their lecturers in seeking to ensure that they get a fair pay deal. And they haven't had a pay rise since August 2021. And it's come to the point where the last resort of trying to get a fair pay deal for lecturers is to take industrial action.
See, I looked through the College of Scotland website yesterday. There are 4 pages specifically devoted to highlighting just how good a deal lecturers do get in Scotland. They're better paid by far than their equivalents elsewhere in the UK. They're far better paid. It's a bit of a boast, this, on the website, very specifically. I've printed it off here. Very specifically bragging about how they're better paid than teachers, nurses, police officers, firefighters. And the figures are pretty eye-watering, all accompanied by, I think, 62 days or 61 days of annual leave. I mean, they are very specifically saying this is a great job, you've got a brilliant package, better than you'd get anywhere else. Well, and you're saying we're striking.
Yes, it is a great job. But unfortunately, the pay of college lecturers is below the pay of teachers in Scotland.
Is it?
Yes.
Not according to the website, isn't it?
Well, a teacher in Scotland gets paid more than £43,500, which is what a college lecturer has.
On their website, it's saying 41. A lecturer gets 42. A nurse gets 32. Police 42 with half the holidays. Firefighter
Those figures
31.
are out of date. Teachers get more. Top of the scale, unpromoted teacher in Scotland gets more than an unpromoted lecturer in Scotland. The fact is that all the pay increases that college lecturers have had in Scotland since 2015 haven't been because of the generosity of College of Scotland. They've been through a series of industrial action. College lecturers have fought for what they've got in Scotland. They fought to get the level of pay that they have, and that's why you've had a strike more or less every year for the last 8 years.
You've been offered £5,000 more over 3 years, but that's an 11% average hike in pay, 14% for the lowest paid. Is that not reasonable?
Well, 11% for 1 year sounds fantastic, but it's not. It's over 3 years. And if you look at this is a pay claim that goes for 2022 to 23, which they're offering £2,000. At the same time, they offered the NHS, well, they gave the NHS staff a much higher pay uplift. They gave teachers a much higher pay uplift. They gave local government people a lot higher pay uplift for that year. Likewise, for 2023-24, the other members of the public sector have received much higher pay rises. And once again, college lecturers have not had a pay increase since August 2021, when RPI inflation has been running at significantly high levels since that point.
Who needs to find this money? Because the Scottish Government say there's no more money. They've cut college budgets by £32 million, and the £5,000 offer would cost colleges £72 million to deliver. So where is that money? Whenever you have a union about industrial action at the moment, it comes down to the same question. Where do you think the money is going to come from?
Well, the government needs to pay up. It needs to prioritise education and colleges. The fact is that the settlement for colleges is a flat cash settlement yet again, whilst at the same time they've been putting hundreds of millions of pounds into pay rises for other parts of the public sector. I mean, I was at the Scottish Government's website yesterday and it was stating that it'd given £500 million in the pay envelope for NHS staff. There's not a penny for college staff from the government to fund additional pay rise.
In terms of the practicals, we were talking to Louise about the impact it's had on her. It's a bit different from missing a university lecture where you can, I guess, go to the library, catch up with books, whatever. If you're learning a trade at college, if you're learning how to cut hair or hang wallpaper or lay bricks or wire a house, that's really practical stuff. So in the most practical sense, where do those students get that tuition from if they're missing it on strike days?
The unfortunate thing is that the college lecturers have got no choice. They haven't had a pay rise since August 2021. Now, what that means is that we can speak to government, we speak to ministers, we speak to the Scottish Greens partners, we have rallies outside Parliament, we meet with MSPs, we have consultative ballots, we telegraph ahead the results of consultative ballots, we carry out statutory ballots, we give many opportunities. Yes, but we give many opportunities. Yes, but we give many opportunities before we get to strike actions. Strike action is a long, drawn-out process with many hurdles, and we tell the employers each step where we're going. We tell the employers our members are supporting industrial action. What are you going to do about it? Okay. And they do nothing. So your point is that it's their fault as much as anybody else's that we're in this position. Louise, I was watching you at the corner of my eye. You were nodding along with most of what David said there. What do you make of it?
I think it's the responsibility of the Scottish Government to resolve these disputes. Universities and schools, they get the media attention, they get the political attention because it gets votes from the right demographics to resolve those disputes. Colleges are establishments of the working class, and I think it's a mistake to ignore us just because it doesn't, fit the right political narrative.
The Scottish Government would say they are very much the government of the working class. You don't agree with that?
Well, I think that regardless of what I think, it needs to be solved as quickly as possible. All
right. David, can you see a resolution?
Not at the moment, no, to be honest with you. I think that the pay needs to be improved, and the Scottish Government doesn't seem to be prioritising the money into colleges.
All right. Well, it does sound like you have, certainly from anecdotal evidence of Louise and the people she's spoken to, quite a lot of support among the student body. We will see where that goes. Thank you both very much indeed for being with us this Sunday on The Sunday Show.